This time at Vintage Steel Garage, I'll give you an update on the CLK after 500 miles. Okay, so we're 500 miles into the CLK ownership. 220 odd miles we're driving up the M1 back up north. No real problems, well, no problems at all really in running. Just needed a damn good clean, which I did on Saturday, so cleaned all the interior up, which is all nice now, which I'm not sure if I showed you last time or not. But here we go. So all the door trims cleaned, all the interior cleaned up, looks a lot better. Set the radio up properly. GPS isn't working on it, but I need to download a little SD card, some memory for the sat nav on that, but that's no problem. Everything else is okay. Cleaned it all. Got someone to come and have a look at the leather for me. I'm just waiting for a price for that, to touch that up, and some repairs. Sort of the usual sort of scuffs you get on the driver's side, bolster, that sort of thing. The rest of it is fairly clean. Cleaned the exterior of it. Cleaned underneath the bonnet. It's looking pretty tidy. Changed the pollen filter, which is in there. That was absolutely disgusting. So that's flowing better now, and I'm just about to change the air filters. It's pretty easy to do on this. You basically just got to take this is all just trim panel on it, and this whole thing here, which is the air box, is just, he says, simply clipped on. So if I just put this down, it should come off with a firm yank. There we go. So that exposes the engine nicely, and to be honest, it seems quite easy to work on. You've got the coil packs there, spark plugs. Was quite shocked that it needs 16 spark plugs, 2 per cylinder. Well, there we go. These are the air filters there, so let's pop these out, see how dirty these are. Taking the filters out, you can see there's a little bit of discoloration. They're not as actually dirty as what I thought they were going to be, to be honest. I mean, you've got to really, it's not the difference between the colour of this and this, because you can see it's sort of the edge of the paper there. These are just a slightly darker colour to the new one anyway, so that's not a true sort of representation of it. So I suppose like that you can see there's a little bit of dirt coming on there. Anyway, I'm going to replace them because I've got them. It only cost £15 for the 2 filters and the oil filter. So let's get those changed and get those back on. Get an easier car to work on really for replacing the air filter. It's very simple to get to, so I just thought while the cover's off I'll just check, make a quick look round, make sure there's nothing else untoward, nothing that needs any attention. It's all looking okay. Clip there that's broke, that might need a bit of attention. So filter can go back on. These are the coil packs, so there's 8 coil packs, 4 per side, 2 spark plugs per side. I think that's just to get a better burn. So that's going to be expensive when I come to replace the plugs. Looks like there's no dipstick for the oil, so that's obviously the transmission's back. All going to be a case of checking it on the onboard dash. Everything else seems okay. A little bit of oil leakage around the rocker cover. Might have a small leak from one of the gaskets. Doesn't look anything untoward particularly. So I'm going to put the air filter back on and see what we can do. So the air filter just clips on onto these 4 retaining lugs. So that's it, that's snug in. Put these breather connections back on. I did have a little fault with this as well. I think you can just see here there was a little nick in the header tank, and I think what had happened is this is a plastic tube, it's on the header tank, and it's got a steel insert to it. Now when I just touched it, it started leaking. Now it looks like someone's cut this Jubilee clip off at some point. For the reason why, well, we'll probably maybe find out later. But they cut the Jubilee kit off, cut through the plastic. I then tap the steel insert back in, which then of course stopped the leak really. But then I just Araldite around it and put it back on, and I've done about probably 50 miles since then, and it's not caused a problem. I've not lost any coolant since then. So that's the only problem I had this week really. Lost a bit of coolant, had a few headlight bulbs to replace, sorry, side light bulbs to replace, and nothing else really. Changed the pollen filter, changed the air filters. I'm now going to unscrew this. This should be interesting to see here. This is the oil filter. Now, the garage I bought it from, I'm always sceptical. They said they'd replace the oil filter, so let's take this off and have a look if that's actually been replaced. Wow, that was tight. Moment of truth. To be truthful, that looks pretty clean, so maybe I owe the garage an apology. They did change the oil filter. Well, I think they've changed it, as I say, and the oil looks pretty clean, so since the service kit was 15 quid for an air filter and oil filter, I'm going to change the oil filter as well, so it's had 2 oil filter changes in 1 oil change, so I'm just going to do that now. So the oil filter is pretty easy to change. Like I say, you can see the oil's coming off it. It's a nice brown, it's not a black dirt. You always, no matter how new your oil is, if you change it there and then, it's going to get discoloured. So we'll take that as new. There's just a number of O-rings, there's 3 O-rings in the new kit. So I can see there's 1 here. So again, these have probably just been replaced recently, but I'm just going to do it again as a belt and braces exercise. So that's 1. So it's easy to do, you can see, you know, CLK Mercedes, know how much the service is, but basically this is the filters, it's cost me £15. If I was to replace the oil as well, that might be another £50 of oil, so call it £70. Maybe done yourself a service on your SLK, and I'm sure a main dealership oil change is going to be in the region of 250, something like that. So just put a bit of oil on the new seals, pop them on, so it's 1 at the bottom there. So that's that one in. Next one down. Fiddling. Being a bit shy. I'm just looking at these filters. Oil, gaskets. There's quite a size difference compared to the original ones. I just realised actually there's 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's only 3 in the kit, so it seems to be they've missed the intermediate one out. So I'm going to put that one back on, which is a larger one. And put that onto here, which is a new one there. Again, these seals aren't great. This is some of the problems you get with these cheap kits. So that's that one on, and then the fourth one, which I haven't seen, is this little one here. You just hook your screwdriver in it and get it off like that. Put a new one on, which has got a bit of oil on it. There. So just get a little bit of oil onto that. The filter goes on, going any direction. So that's a new filter on there. And put that back in the car, simply screw that in. So I'm just going to screw this in, tighten this up, and we'll have a look at other bits on the car. Just to summarise then, just a short video today. 500 miles into the CLK500 ownership. I just wanted to confirm, because I didn't have much paperwork that came with the car. I think nowadays people don't want to give receipts because it has people's addresses on, so you then tend to lose the service history. The garage told me they'd replace the oil and the oil filter. I'm always sceptical of that, and I never know when it was last serviced, so all I've simply done is I bought an oil filter and air filters, £15 off eBay delivered, not much money. So taking the air box off the top here, replaced the air filters. They were sort of partially dirty. I'd say they've probably been replaced maybe 3,000–4,000 miles ago, if that. The oil was clean. You always get it discoloured as soon as you put it in with the contaminants and you know, that sort of high mileage engine. So I'd say it was clean, replaced last week as they said. Since I had the filter in my hand, the new oil filter, I just replaced the oil filters. And just in case you're watching and you've skipped to the end of the video and thought, what a charlatan, he's replaced only the oil filter and left the old oil in. And I suspect the oil's only been in for 250 miles, as the garage said, and I've just confirmed that with a new filter. And if you're thinking of doing this for your job yourself on a CLK500, I think it's the same on all the CLKs, to be honest. It's £15 plus your oil, so probably £70, 20 minutes of work if that, and your service and you're done, and that's it. Okay, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, and we'll do some more work, and I promise we will be getting to the dart soon, because I need that gone now, because I've got my V8 and I do need to make that more noisy because it's far too quiet. Well, thanks for watching, see you soon.